All right, we are recording for the 10th. I'm pretty sure it is the 10th tale in that, which is the Pack of Ragamuffins. That's just good. Let me look that up. Ragamuffin etymology. Don't think I misspelled entomology there, but maybe I did. I think I did. Yes. Yeah, etymology. Sorry. Entomology is study of bugs. Okay. Demon, a ragged lout. Okay. Comes from Middle English, ragged plus fanciful ending, according to the Oxford English Dictionary. Okay. Ragged was used of the devil from around 1300 in reference to his shaggy appearance. I'm just looking at the Online etymology for it. Interesting. Anyway, yeah. Ragamuffins, which it does actually make sense. And to be honest, seeing that etymology, seeing that history of the word is actually kind of helpful to further explain what the story is. So what it follows is, and I'm not sure why it looks like I'm out of focus. The camera should be focusing. But anyway, so the story starts with a cock and a hen, so male and female chicken, deciding, hey, let's go over there and eat our fill of nuts before the squirrels get them, because they're ripe now. The nuts, not the squirrel. Though maybe the squirrel is as well. Anyway, they go do that, eat a bunch. And it's not that they were too full. They just didn't want to then walk home. So they fashioned a carriage out of the nutshells, which the hen got in and was saying to the cock then that, okay, you can pull us. You can pull me home. It's like, that wasn't part of the deal. I built this thing for me too to be the coachman. I don't want to be pulling it. So at this time, a duck then appears. We continue with the whole fairy tale characters for a bit here, but a duck appears, accuses them of stealing her nuts, and like that's what they ate. It's like, okay, a little confusing here, but in any case, they do that. The cock beats up the duck, which the duck was going to beat him up, so it's kind of fair. The duck just lost, so now the duck is the one that's going to pull the carriage. So they do that. They come across a pin and a needle who want to ride because it's getting dark, and it's like we kind of want to get as far as we can and all that before it gets dark, all that. And they're like, well, you're thin, so yeah, you can get in, just don't stand on our feet. Fair enough. Before they get home, in part because the duck is not very sure-footed, which I guess makes some sense, he would be duck-footed. So I prefer to be over here, but it's just the camera is more aimed here. I think I'm just in the middle of some notches on the base, but anyhow, because I can't turn the thing. Anyhow, so they come to an inn, and the innkeeper's like, we're full, and no, I don't want you here. But and this I actually do want to try to read off, But last, as they made pleasant, and it's also beside, he thought they could not be very distinguished persons. But at last, as they made pleasant speeches, and told him that he should have the egg which the little hen has laid on the way, and should likewise keep the duck, which laid one every day, he at length said that they might stay the night. And now they were well served, and they feasted and rioted. But when morning came, the cock and the hen got up, ate the egg, which I guess maybe chickens are cannibalistic. I don't actually know. And do you know that they are nice for eating insects? Like, we don't have scorpions in the area, but I'm pretty sure that there are stories about people that what they will do for entertainment in part is if they find scorpions, and they have chickens, they'll let the chickens loose at it because the chickens will actually eat them. And apparently well suited for eating such insects. The more you know, kind of thing. Anyway, I also once had a teacher. Sorry, this is another side. I once had a teacher who mentioned when he was growing up, just one of the places he lived, there were scorpions there, and what he and other kids would do when they were young, dig a trench filled with gasoline and have the scorpions in the middle fight after lighting the gasoline. It's like, what? What? He was an odd teacher anyway, but it's like, apparently odd as a kid too. I would never think to do that. Somebody did. Anyhow, so they eat the egg and then they leave, heading home. The duck had slept outside, preferring to be outside, saw them leave, and was like, oh, okay, well, I'll leave too. Just jump to the stream and leave that way. But also the pin and the needle, before leaving, the cock put the pin in the innkeeper's towel and the needle in the cushion of his seat. So when he woke up later, he went to wash his face, got scratched from ear to ear by the pin, and then already somewhat frustrated by, because he sees the eggshells that were left by the two, who is frustrated by that, sits down and sits on the pin, on the needle, and so is annoyed by that as well. And then finally says, he made a vow to take no more ragamuffins into his house, for they consume much, pay nothing, and play mischievous tricks into the bargain by way of gratitude. So it seems like that's more so the moral is, and it is, right there is explicitly that, and also looking at what the etymology is for ragamuffin, it makes sense. Basically, these little demons, these ragged louts, which, it makes sense, because, I mean, they didn't really pay, because they ate the egg themselves, leaving only the shell. They left these booby traps, if you will, and the duck also left, even though the duck they had offered up, which is also kind of weird, because it's like, why would the duck be okay with this? But anyhow, and just took advantage, because it also did say, they feasted and rioted all night, so it's not even like that they only took a bed for a little bit, or just a corner of the room even. No, they took other things, yeah, and they feasted and rioted. So, yeah, that they just took and paid nothing for it. And it does also make sense for this being told, because that seems like a warning to watch out for ragamuffins and don't give them things, because they will abuse your hospitality. And abuse your trade, even, I guess I should say, because it wasn't just being hospitable. It was meant to be commerce. It was meant to be a trade there, and no, they abused that because they basically just stole from him. But it would also be a warning to children to not become ragamuffins, because this innkeeper will never work with you. That would look at you and believe you're a ragamuffin and be like, nope, I'm not going to deal with that, which is fair. I mean, I'm sorry, it is, and somebody like him, and this kind of happened to me. I remember this years ago when I was working as a math tutor, and you gain an insight. This is the point I was getting to. You gain insight when you've been doing long enough that you can look at somebody and basically know what it is that they need, know what it is that they want. So for the innkeeper, there'd be okay, I know that person is coming here. They don't just want a bed. They want a party. They're going to make a mess, so I know, like, at minimum, going to be, even if they pay, it still is, I'm going to have to clean up a lot, or I'm going to have to replace a lot of food because of them. Well, what my situation was, is I could tell, okay, that person coming in, they literally just want a seat. That's it. I may never have to come over and talk to them, beyond, just letting them know I'm there, so that and they know who I am, so that if they need help, but at some point, they can flag me down, and I'll come over and help. It's great when it's that way, especially if it's a group where that's all they want. They want a place that they can work together, focused on their math homework, or whatever it is. And when they need help from somebody who has more experience, right there. It's great working with them, because they're not a handholder, is how I would put it. Because this happened one day where I did have a group before that I was trying to work with there, but then somebody else came in who was a handholder, and I could just look and know that's exactly what this person wants. And to clarify what a handholder is, that's somebody where you have to go through every single step of the problem. Basically, you have to do the work for them. And I would even say for her, and it was a her, it wasn't like try and take advantage of, at least that wasn't my read, of trying to take advantage. And there were some. There were also some students that would be they just didn't want to do the work. They figured they would get us to do it. No, this genuinely just seemed like could not understand it, and so you have to go through every step of the problem explaining it, and even go over it, like go back and go through it again potentially in order for them to understand it. But the thing is, virtue of the handholder, the aspect of the handholder is you have to be dedicated to them. You have to be focused on them, which meant I could no longer work with that group by her coming in. It's like, that is something, it's very real. That very much happens. Somebody, where you somehow just, you know the body language, you know how to read it. That'll happen for a lot of industries. I can also believe, like, fast food, you're standing behind the counter and you see the array of people there. And I don't think you are able to pick people out of a line saying, okay, you come up. But I could see some people wanting to do that, where it's like they can just see, okay, that person already knows exactly what they want to order. Why don't you come up? Because you're still standing at the board, and I can see you looking back and forth, so I know, okay, you're still trying to figure it out. I want to get to them because, like, it's gonna be like that for them. You're taking a little bit longer, and hey, there's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. The handholders, I still want to work with. That was a busy day though, and so it was that was frustrating. It was also somebody else. Well, don't need to get into that, but somebody else should have been working with that student anyway, and yeah. But yeah, so it is. I could see that being part of the moral there, which is, for children to learn, don't be a ragamuffin. Which, again, to be clear, that handholder, not a ragamuffin, wasn't. I'm just talking about the whole being able, somebody gaining that insight, being able to just look at something and know. If it was somebody, and we did have students like this, they were the minority, I want to say, though, where all they wanted was the answer. They just wanted somebody else to do the work. That'd be fun, because then it would be because you could tell. Again, you could gain that insight, and you could tell. And there'd be times when it's like you get a part of the way and then just stop. Then it's like, well, what's the answer? It's like, you figure it out. Because you can tell. And it's like, that's the ragamuffin. And, hey, everyone was welcome to come in. Everyone, I would work with everyone that I could. Wasn't good at statistics. But everyone else, happy to help you. But it is I'm not here to answer the problem for you. I'm here to help you figure it out. And I had no problem being honest about that. But it is still the ragamuffins you have to be able to respond to. The innkeeper wasn't here, but is now going to respond, and it's unfortunately going to be responding as a go away. So those the hen and the cock will never be allowed back. Those chickens will never be allowed back. Presumably also the duck. And if there's future chickens and ducks that come in, we'll potentially not get service for that reason anymore. So yeah. So yeah, that does make sense. It still seems a little odd, and I do kind of wonder why it is chickens, a duck, and a pin and a needle. Like, is there any significance there? Because I do kind of wonder that. Like, even going back a bit to the straw, the coal, and the bean, I was wondering if those three actually do represent certain things. Because you find that in some stories. With like the coal representing industry or something like that. I'm not necessarily sure that it would be the case, but yeah. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else to mention here. Do get some nice artwork. It's also interesting, it is now the time when our nuts are ripe, so let's go to the hill together and for once eat our fill before the squirrel takes them all away. So it is a little interesting. And in the artwork, which is probably going to get removed. Oh, no, it actually didn't. Right up there is a squirrel, like looking down at the two chickens on the side of the hill as they're climbing up. And I do just... Is that also a statement about the squirrel? Like the squirrel is... The chickens are, they're saying our nuts, but the duck also claims them. Would the squirrel claim them as well? Like, is it even that they are actually stealing the nuts, per se, and that the squirrel is the one that actually works and earns them? Which in one sense is true. Because squirrels, yes, they do take the nuts, they bury them to find them later, although that actually isn't true. Now, I'm pretty sure that they have found that, yeah, most of the time the squirrels bury the nuts, but they don't go back to those spots. They don't remember where they are. They end up finding other nuts, and other squirrels find those nuts if they find them. Because also they buried them, so now they're in the ground and can eventually grow to be trees, to be the trees that they came from. Because remember, that's what nuts are. They are the fertilized. I'm just trying to think what it would be, but they are, because trees do. That is sexual reproduction. There are male and female trees. Pollination, get the nuts, and then that's to be planted and somehow reach the ground. I'm not sure if it always requires being buried or if it can rest on top, but either way, the squirrels assist with that. So there is technically a claim that the squirrels could have to it that a chicken wouldn't. But I don't know, because I could believe that, well, I think it's absolutely reasonable that the ancients, even so well before even this, would have understood that that's what squirrels do. That squirrels do help in new trees being formed. I'm not sure if they would have known about the whole other squirrels or who come back and necessarily get them if they find them again. So, yeah. But it is potential. The point I was getting to, and then got sidetracked by that, is it's possible that the chickens are also being set up here as thieves. That they have stolen, that they don't want to work either, because while they build the carriage, they don't want to be the ones to pull it. And so compel the duck to do it. But to be fair, the duck attacked first, the cock defended itself, and the hen. The duck lost, and then pulled it. And it's like, okay, that's kind of fair. They're trying to sell the duck to the innkeeper. That I'm not so okay with. But it is also possible they knew was a line that they would all just leave anyway. So, yeah, they're not good people. They would be dishonest and irresponsible. Dishonest in way of they had promised something, like that there was supposed to be an exchange that they lied, that they failed to keep. They were dishonest in that and just left. And then the whole leaving the pin in the needle to injure the innkeepers even further. Like, now that these are not good people, don't be like this, because then no one will want to work with you. Yeah, it does make sense as a moral. I'm not saying that morality play. Let's go with that. That's a little easier for me to say. The whole speech impediment is annoying at times, but it is what it is. The heck is this? I'm sorry, I'm just looking forward a little bit, and 2 pages are stuck together, but yeah, the fox and the horse. There's an image here that literally looks like the feet of a lion are tied in a horse's tail, and it's being dragged. That's going to be an interesting one to read. That's not the next one, though. The next one is the cat and mouse in partnership, which is a terrifying thought. It's bad enough when there's 2 cats, when there's even just 1 cat around. We have 2 cats. Yeah, it's bad enough when there's even just 1 around. The mischief they get up to, a cat and a mouse. Oh no! I've seen Tom and Jerry enough to know what they can do. Not as dangerous as a coyote and roadrunner, though. All right. See you next time.